Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have two Heaven Hill blended whiskeys with no website listing. So if you look on heavenhill.com, you'll see a lot of products, but you won't see these two. Okay, we've got Kentucky Beau. Well, you see them in the product specification list, something that people generally wouldn't look at. And so a text list of what bottle sizes are available in the proof. This is Kentucky Beau. Would mean like your Kentucky. It's a French word, boyfriend or girlfriend, Beau. In Louisiana, people say boo, hey boo, but it's really Beau. Like Kentucky boyfriend. It's got the lucky horseshoes. It's got medals that it never won. Kentucky whiskey, a blend. This is the green label. There's also a black label. Don't know the difference between them, but there is definitely a green label and a black label. And there's also Kentucky Beau straight bourbon whiskey, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, and I think bottled and bond, but I only have this one. And I bought this at Bonita Plaza Liquors. Bonita Plaza Liquors on Mississippi State Highway 19 northbound in Meridian, Mississippi, just south of the Interstate 59/20, because they come together and run through Meridian, and then they branch off after you leave Meridian. 59 going from New Orleans to Georgia, northwest corner of Georgia, just below Chattanooga, and 20 running from Dallas, Texas, east to the Interstate 95 in Georgia, I do believe. You know what? I'm wrong about that. Interstate 20 runs from El Paso, Texas, to the East Coast. It can't go any further west because then it would run into Mexico, and Mexico has their own highway network, interstate highway network. Okay, but anyway, Interstate 20 replaced United States Highway 80, follows the route of 80, in fact, which also went to El Paso, Texas, and then, but further on, in U.S. Highway 80 went all the way to San Diego. But you could follow the old route. You could take it, You see a lot of closed down businesses, old restaurants shut down, and old, depending where you are, if it's through like Arlington, Texas, then yeah, it's a lot of places still open. Obviously, it's one of the main highways through the town. But anyway, that's enough geographical information. Interstate 59 follows United States Highway 11. Same story, goes from New Orleans, but 11 continues on to the Canadian border. If you stay on it, it just says, "Welcome to Canada. Stop at the gate." That's literally what old interstate U.S. Highway 11 does. Runs along the Appalachian Mountains, right on the edge. Okay, so Kentucky Beau. And this is a really weird one. The Dixie Baseman says, "Good morning, Ron. How was your Christmas?" Oh, it was very, very nice. Quiet, nice. Got to see people. Really on Christmas Eve is when I got to see the family and everything, my family. So it was very nice. I think David should join more, says Hector. Well, he will, maybe, if he gets time. He just had some time yesterday, Christmas evening. He was back from his family, so there was nothing going on. So he was like, "I'll join." We had some little clowns want to join. People are babyfied. Well, they're idiots. I'm sorry, but they're children. A lot of males, a lot of men in their 30s are children. They're mentally children still, and so they don't do a whole lot. But they'll say, "Give me the link. I want to join." But they have nothing to contribute except antics, idiocy. So that's why we're kind of restrictive about who can join. If you want to join and have a serious discussion about beer, wine, and liquor, go ahead, join. You're welcome. But the clown acts need to stay at the circus. Okay, but anyway, good morning to you, Oliver. All right, anyway, hair in my nose itching. Here is a possibly illicit product, and I'll tell you what I mean by illicit. It's called Quality House Crown. There's a crown. I don't know what the crown's supposed to signify. This is the king of what? Says our signet of quality, blended whiskey with natural flavors. Okay, so far so good. Not a bad looking label. Looks like something you'd see under the bar at a tavern or lounge, you know, because that's the kind of stuff they use. But I found it at the liquor store, so you can buy it. It's not just something they sell to wholesale to bar rooms. Bottled by Quality Control Distilling Company, Bardstown, Kentucky. I found out years ago that's an alias for Heaven Hill, Quality Control Distilling. Yeah. And Quality House is a common brand of theirs. They have Quality House Straight Bourbon, Quality House Bottled and Bond Bourbon, Quality House Blended Bourbon, blended whiskey, Quality House Heaven Hill. It's called Quality House Heaven Hill Kentucky blended whiskey, which we get in Louisiana. I've never seen this in Louisiana. I bought this at a liquor store in Texarkana, Arkansas. It contains caramel color. It has natural flavors added. I bought it. It was like $5.99. So I said, well, it's so cheap. I hadn't lost anything. I could buy this cheaper than a double, than a Baconator at Wendy's. Cheaper than a Baconator at Wendy's. But when I got home, I realized the problem. It says 70 proof. I said, 70 proof? Is that even allowed? And there's no trademark on this, so they don't even bother having a trademark. It's not a registered trademark with the U.S. Patent Office, so somebody else could steal it and use it. But then they probably figure ain't nobody dumb enough to do that. There probably isn't anybody dumb enough to do it. But man, look, I was checking on the United States government liquor website. There's a U.S. government liquor website all about liquor. It's called ttb.gov, taxandtradebureau.gov. And there's a section called the Glossary of Distilled Spirits, and it's updated occasionally. It's a file. You bring up the PDF file, and there's definitions of what is whiskey. And it very clearly says must be at least 80 proof. Whiskey must be at least 80 proof. Now you're saying, well, that's blended. That doesn't matter. No, wait, wrong. Back up. Because blended whiskey is listed under the whiskey umbrella. Every whiskey is under that category. They're called subcategories. It's called a type, class and type. The class of liquor is whiskey. The type is blended whiskey. It's not 80 proof. So now Heaven Hill can contact me and tell me I'm wrong. Fine. My contention is that it's an illicit product. In other words, it's an illegal product. It's made in violation of the regulations of the U.S. government. I'm not going to be one to complain because I don't even care. I know that Luxco sells one too called Calvert Extra. Calvert Extra. I saw it on the shelf and I put it right back because it was only 70 proof, and I don't play around with that. So if somebody has information that I'm not privy to or that I'm missing, you let me know because I don't understand it. My contention right now is that it's illegal. Masqueraders of labeling. Ha, ha, ha. Right, Oliver. Who were those two people that seemed drunken live yesterday? I don't know who those were. Hector, anybody could click a link, How many alternative names are they allowed to have? 30% isn't that liquor territory? Liqueur territory, 35%. I don't know. They got liqueurs that are 100 proof. Rumple Mints, I can buy that at Walmart. That's 100 proof. It's a liqueur. It's a peppermint liqueur. Probably older people with childlike minds making the labels. No, I don't think a person with a childlike mind made this label. I think a person that knew what they were doing made this label, and they just figured it would pass. I don't know this, that it could pass through without getting caught. But I really don't know. I don't know the story. That's what I'm saying. If you got information to tell me I'm wrong, I would welcome that information. I don't get hostile if I'm wrong. But I know what I read. I know what I read on ttb.gov. Okay. Website for Villa Liquors. I bought this at Villa. I looked it up. It's on United States Highway 71. Back to geography. Another long highway. It starts in West Baton Rouge Parish. I think it is, or is it Rapide? But it's just west of Baton Rouge. Well, it's actually a good deal west, and about 30 miles west. And you get on 71. It just says US 71 starts out in the swamp. I mean, middle of a swamp. I mean, really. And you go northwest and takes you to Shreveport. Now there's an interstate that you can get on that's much faster. But when back in the 1990s, if you went to Shreveport, you had to take it. It was so slow. Then it continues on to Texarkana, and then it continues on to Fort Smith, Arkansas, and then it gets really mountainous there, so it's scary. Like, it's like curvy, and then you got to slow down. And then it goes to Kansas City, Missouri, and then it continues to St. Joseph, Missouri, and then on to Iowa, and it ends at International Falls, Minnesota. International Falls, Minnesota. But it actually crosses into Canada, and then it's a Canadian Highway 71. True story, Canadian Highway 71, up until you get to some other place up there. And it's one of the longest highways in the world, and probably one of the slowest. Okay, so let's see what products they have here at Villa. Villa. I'm going to put the link below if you want. No, I'm not going to put the link unless I find Quality House. So some cheap whiskeys they've got. Royale Club, which I bought there, also $6.95. They're showing the wrong bottle photo. $6.59, sorry, $6.59. T.W. Samuels, $6.59. I can get that here. Rich and Rare, $7.99. I can get that here. Pretty good product from Canada. Early Times, I can get that. Evan Williams, yep. Okay, so they're not listing Quality House. That could have just been a special that they got a hold of and put it out there and see if anybody would buy it. And I was one of those people. Let's see if they list the Heaven Hill Gold label. They had that on the counter, and they had like 5 bottles, liter bottles. I got it for $11.99. Now, that might have been the same thing, you see, that it was just a special they got a hold of, and they, nah, I'm not seeing it. Okay, these liquor stores, just like Mathern's does the same thing. It's not something they typically stock, but they'll get a hold of it, sell it, and when it's gone, that's it, So, but this Kentucky Beau was on the shelf, just a regular shelf at Bonita Plaza Liquors. And when I was checking out, the guy said, Kentucky Beau, the man checking me out. So apparently it's something they sell a lot of. And I told him, I said, I can't get this in Louisiana. That's why I'm buying it. He said, oh, okay. It was $6.49. $6.49. That's the end of it, though. No more Kentucky Beau, y'all. Final. And I ain't going to miss it. I will not miss it. Okay. This is only the second time I'm trying the Quality House because I did a solo review. It was actually better than I thought. I thought it was going to just be a Tragic Kingdom. I mean, Gwen Stefani could, but it wasn't anything great. But it wasn't horrible, but it shouldn't be 70 proof. That's my complaint. If the law allowed 70 proof, I say, okay, fine, I won't buy it. But the law clearly states it's really a regulation in pursuant to the law. But the regulation says, which in effect is a law, the regulation says 80 proof. I mean, it's clear. I'm looking at it. Not now, but 10 years from now. But you know what I'm saying? I was looking at it on a website. All right. You add caramel color and you get darker product. It's amber, not gold. Would it really be that color? No. It would be almost clear. This is gold. And do they add caramel color here? Well, I don't know. It's pretty light. And it would get that color from being 20% straight bourbon, aged 3 years. You know, it might. 80% grain neutral spirits. People say that's vodka. Nope, wrong again. It's a type of vodka. I mean, it's a type of spirits, grain spirits. There's two type of grain spirits: grain neutral spirits and vodka. If they were the same thing, they'd be the same thing. They're two different types. You know, so that's people being flip and know-it-alls. You know, the know-it-alls, they know everything except that they're wrong. A lot of times, they'll call Canadian whiskey brown vodka. Wrong again. Shows their ignorance. Got nothing to do with vodka. Canadian whiskey has nothing to do with vodka. And American blended whiskey has nothing to do with vodka. It's grain neutral spirits. ttb.gov. Type grain spirits. Oh, I'm sorry, class. The class, grain spirits. The type, grain neutral spirits. Right below it, vodka. And it describes what they are. They're related. They're related, but they're not the same. It's like saying corn whiskey and bourbon is the same thing. No, they're two different class, two different types of whiskey, two different types. One is bourbon, one is corn whiskey. Similar, you say they're related because they're made out of corn. Exactly, but they're not the same. Okay, enough preaching. And I'm not preaching any propaganda. I'm preaching the truth. Well, truthful propaganda, because anything you're trying to convince people of is propaganda. You understand? They had the same thing with limited stocks at Costco with Green Spot Irish whiskey. Normally it's $70 everywhere else. I got it for $42. See what I mean? Great. Maxwell. Hello, Ron. Hello to you, Maxwell. All right. Thanks for watching. And I'm going to be careful with these because if I look down and see the darker one, I'm going to know it's a quality house. Would I like to tour the Heaven Hill Distillery? Yeah, but they don't give tours. They give this Heaven Hill experience, this interactive distillery experience. I said, well, I don't want to go experience what whiskey is. I know what that is. I want to see the distillery operations. I want to walk through the rick houses. I want to look like they do at Buffalo Trace. And I'm not paying money to go see an experience. I know that because that's what it's almost like an amusement park of whiskey or brandy or gin or rum. No, thanks. It's like Sazerac House in New Orleans, except Sazerac House is free, no charge. Free drinks too. Of course, it ends at the gift shop. The tour ends at the gift shop. I mean, you know, use your brain. That's where the money's going to come from because people are going to buy gifts. They tourists. But that's cool. If it's a tourist trap, fine. I'm not a tourist. Well, I was a tourist in my own town, but I mean, you know, I enjoyed it. Jean-Pierre enjoyed it. My friend David enjoyed it, but he got restless. He said it was too long. I said, oh, fuddy-duddy. Smells like corn. Oh, boy. I ate corn grits yesterday, and it smells like what I ate. It smells the same. Yeah, smell like corn. So you got a hankering for corn? Well, I got something that just might be for you. And it'll be less than $8 a bottle. Ha, ha, ha. Oh, boy, that must be Heaven Hills Kentucky Beau because it got that honeydew melon thing and that weird nut oil, like pecan oil. Oh, man, that's weird. Merry Christmas, y'all, says Urjo. Merry Christmas to you. Oh, yeah, today is the second day of Christmas. I should be drinking two turtle doves. Is that a drink, turtle dove? It's an animal. How do you like your grits? You mean with what should I have them with? I like them with like grits and gravy, grits and butter, grits with black pepper. Got to have salt with them. Could be too bland. Grits with shrimp. Oh, there's so many ways. You know, grits and eggs with bacon or ham. white grits, yellow grits, doesn't matter. Yeah, that's got that weird Heaven Hill blended whiskey thingy going on. Are these sippers? Are you crazy? Sippers? Well, I am sipping them. This one doesn't have that weird honeydew melon thing, but what it does have is this the nut oil. They both have that nut oil. Now, could they be adding nut oil? Would that be allowed as a natural flavor? Well, if you read the Tax and Trade Bureau website, all it says is natural flavors NTE. It says actually harmless flavoring and coloring, HFCM, harmless flavoring and coloring materials. That's what it says. HFCM, harmless flavoring and coloring materials. NTE, 2.5%, not to exceed 2.5%. And then there's a section, do they have to disclose it? In some types, yes. American blended whiskey, no, they don't have to disclose if they put it. They can, like they did here. It says caramel color added. It is not required. Okay, and it's a natural flavor. So that's a courtesy. That's a courtesy from Heaven Hill. It's not a requirement. But we know what the contention is here. The bone of contention here is, why is it 70 proof? Why is it 70 proof if the regulation clearly states that the minimum allowed for American whiskey is 80 proof? Now, I don't know. I can't figure it out. I don't know, but I've been told in the heat of the day a man died of cold. You know, it's one thing or another. You know, something's got to give. Well, that's a deep subject. I think, and I'm not really that confident in. Okay, let's see. What do you, can't read out my glasses, it's far away. What do you like more, Sazerac or Heaven Hill? Well, from experience so far, I'll give the edge to Sazerac, meaning Buffalo Trace and Glenmore mainly, and Barton because they do the 1792. But see, it depends because what are we talking about? Their rum, you know? Are we talking about their brandy? Are we talking about their liqueur? See, so they're close. I mean, it's close. Evan Williams versus trying to think of a common Sazerac bourbon. Oh yeah, Ancient Age. Evan Williams versus Ancient Age. Which is better? Well, you know, they're about the same. I would just get whatever one's cheaper, which means I'd get Ancient Age because it's usually cheaper. So would I rather get Black Velvet, Canadian whiskey, or Canadian Mist? I guess I would get whatever one is cheaper because they're about on par and they're both from Heaven Hill and Sazerac. Canadian Mist is a Sazerac brand these days, and Black Velvet is a Heaven Hill brand these days. If you talk about the blended whiskeys, I give the edge to Sazerac for sure. They don't have that weird honeydew melon thing. Yeah. Oh, now as far as their like specialty bourbons, like Old Fitzgerald versus Blanton's, I really don't know because I never had the Old Fitzgerald, you know, the $75 one in that decanter. I've had Blanton's. Blanton's is great. Hard to find though. It's still $59. Okay, I'm saying this is the Kentucky boat. Oh, it's not. Yowza. It's the Quality House. Oh boy. Well, don't blame me. I only had one sample of it, and that was a week ago. But then that's no excuse. But I mean, it is the reason. I don't have now. Will I get better at it as I drink through it? Most probably. Would I recommend it? No. Unless you like strange products like I do, just to buy them because they're weird, and nobody else does videos for it. There's no video reviews for this. I couldn't find any. Um, I mean, $5.99. Yeah, $5.49. I think it was $5.49. Yeah, I mean it's just something to say you had, but I wouldn't, you wouldn't bring this to a party unless you're trying to make enemies. People would be like, "Why are you bringing that? You're cheap," and you'd say, no, the reason is, it wouldn't be a real reason because there would be no intelligent reason to bring that. Unless people are having a drinking game, which I don't get involved with that kind of stuff. That leads to trouble, and I have no interest in that. Yeah, but I would avoid it, to tell you the truth. Even though the taste is not technically bad, it still could maybe score a B minus. I think in my solo review I gave it an 80, B minus, but it's not even 80 proof. I wouldn't waste time with it personally. I got to go through all the taste challenges. Hopefully I won't get any more wrong. Okay, so today is one day of the 12 days of Christmas. Any plans for New Year's? Maybe. I got plans, but I might have bigger plans. But yeah, I got plans like watching New Orleans Saints beating the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, we'll see about that. I figure that with that label, they were trying to get people who were Crown Royal fans because they heard the name in a song. I just don't see how that would attract any Crown Royal fans because I don't see any Crown Royal fan on earth thinking this could have anything to do with Crown Royal. Just like the Royal Bourbon, the crown over the Royal Bourbon. How would that, who in the world, who would see this and be attracted to it? Except in a way that I described, and it says QH in the back, the way I described it as an oddity, not as a quality item, just as an oddball item. Yeah, fine. But you're not going to buy it saying, oh, yeah, I can't wait to drink it. No, you're going to buy it and say, well, oh boy, let me drink it. That kind of thing. And I'll look at these things in a proper perspective. Yikes. All right. They are probably people who think high points are Glocks. Yeah, that would be me because I don't even know what that is, unless it's a pow pow. Some of these guns are toys. I'm not Easy Andy, Hey, Travis, this is Easy Andy. He's a traveling salesman. Hello, Travis. All right. Anyway, it's peasant whiskey, not Regal. Yeah, it's peasant. There's a good example there. It's peasant whiskey. And I'm down with the peasantry, I'm down with the ordinary peasantry protocol. I'm down with the ordinary peasantry protocol, the OPP. I'm down with OPP. Yeah, you know me. I'm down with OPP. Yeah, you know me. All right, see y'all later.